Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tulsa Life podcast. We are here today live in studio.
Ooh.
I don't know, it isn't really live, I guess, if you're listening to a podcast episode, but
we're live.
We're doing this live.
Yeah.
So we're live today with Erin Robbins. So welcome, Erin.
Thanks for having me, Erin.
Yeah. So we were just saying we should rename this to be the Erin Show today. So we're gonna
the Erin episode.
Oh, it's the Erin episode. Okay, we're gonna use that. It's the Erin episode. So Erin Robbins and Erin Catron, we get to work together. Sometimes we're interchangeable. People will call you thinking they're talking to me, and vice versa. I get lots of emails to Erin.
Yes.
You get lots
Where'd
of
you
emails.
send it? Oh, to Erin.
Oh, I sent it to that Erin.
Yeah.
Okay, wrong Erin. Anyway, but the reason that we really wanted to have you in this morning and why this morning is so special is you are our January cultural icon.
Yay. Yes. I'm super thankful, grateful, humbled. I mean, it's an honor for sure.
So, first of all, nobody knows what that means.
Yes.
And I think one of the unique things about our brokerage is that I think probably, I would say maybe our number one focus isn't even production.
Yeah.
But I think our number one focus is definitely the people and the culture that our brokerage has. And so
Which
part
is so
of that,
rare.
It is. And it works
Yeah.
because it's a great place that we love to be. And I think at the end of the day, if you enjoy where you work and you enjoy who you work with, it just makes it a whole lot easier in life in general.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that too. But the cultural icon is a newer thing that we just started, I guess probably about within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple cultural icons so far, but tell us a little bit about what that means to you and maybe give a brief explanation to somebody who's kind of listening in and what that might mean to somebody outside looking in.
Sure. So, kind of explaining, I guess, what it is, and then I'll hit on what it means to me to be the cultural icon this month for January. So, what it is for us and for our brokerage, what's unique about it is you're not Erin Catron, and a leadership of our team doesn't necessarily pick the culture icon every month. It's completely nomination,
Voted on by your peers.
By peers, yes. So there's not any type of
Like
That's the right
application.
word. Yeah.
You're not applying for it. It's not
Right.
something that you're checking off the boxes. It is 100%.
and there's not like necessarily a way to earn it except for just having that rapport and that respect with your peers where they think of you and say, you know what, I think they deserve to be the cultural icon this month. So kind of with that being said, that's to me why it is such a huge honor and responsibility to be voted that, because that really means that people see you in this way and you definitely don't want to do anything that would go against that. And you want to uphold that honor of being the cultural icon. I know last month we had another team member who was voted, and I think he was completely blindsided, but it was so so sweet and so amazing.
Yes.
And he just was so shocked, but it was like, everybody was like, oh yeah, duh, it's you. Like, we love you and we think that you're, awesome, and we want to respect you and honor you in this way. So it's definitely something that I think
And you're kind of selling yourself a little bit short because you're not really telling everybody, like, the cultural icon is somebody who embodies like encouragement and, going the extra mile for our team, going the extra mile for each other. It's like you said, your peers seeing you as somebody who they can depend upon, somebody who gives back, somebody who's not looking for credit, who is showing up behind the scenes, and some of the biggest things, that you contributed to, that a lot of your peers, said. And I love it because it's really cool. It's one thing to get voted and it's, you're like, oh, this is a cool popularity thing. No, it isn't. When you vote for a cultural icon within our office, the person who's nominating you has to say why.
Yeah.
And so I know that's hard to talk about, but I'm gonna kind of brag on you because the things that were mentioned and the comments that were made about Erin were very direct and personal at how you have helped certain people on our team, how you, pour into mentoring, newer agents, how you show up for even our Christmas party. Our Christmas party was so fun.
Yeah.
And, not only did you make it a beautiful setting and, you just really took the ball and ran with making it look good by decorating and showing up and being there and getting and coordinating all of that. And then you also coordinated the karaoke, which was super important.
Well, I let Tyler, sorry, side note, Tyler's my husband for people who wouldn't know that, but I kind of let him take over because
and he was awesome too. But the fact that you guys did that for our team and, all the things that you do helping people, whether it's if they need help with contracts or if they need help, understanding, how to use certain systems within our brokerage, it is really your teammates giving you that accolade and saying, we see you, we see what you're doing, we appreciate you, and we love you. So being the cultural icon within our brokerage, and we're talking about 30 people. So it's not like, it's not nothing to be the cultural icon, but I think you're so deserving of that. And I think it's awesome that our team sees you and sees that and sees that as an honor that you really do deserve.
Yeah. And another thing, well, thank you. I feel very appreciative and very honored to have been voted. And another thing that people I think vote on as well, at least I know when I go to nominate people and vote for them, is if they have the culture of the brokerage at something that they hold in high regard and that they're protective of. And not protective in a way where, it gets like where you're against people, but just where you want other people to kind of come up to that standard. You don't necessarily protect it where it's like, okay, we're cutting people out, but you want to bring everyone in and be like, this is what we do here, and this is how we respond, and this is how we act, and like you want to bring people into that as well. And I think that's been really cool.
So I think you're right. Protecting the culture is not a negative connotation at all. On the contrary, we always say that our culture is to encourage, and our culture is to uplift, and and to support. And I think that you're exactly right. Protecting that, where I think that protection is just protecting from negativity.
Yeah.
Protecting, this is a hard business to be in. And I think a lot of times people assume that being a real estate agent is very flexible and it's super easy and you set your own schedule and, you hear all these things, and the people that go into real estate and you're like, why did you decide to go into real estate? And they name off all these things and you're like, well, how much real estate do you sell?
Yeah.
Because people that sell a lot of real estate usually don't have a lot of flexibility. They usually don't have a lot of extra time. And, we talked about it at our Christmas party again and kind of gave a shout out to our spouses because I think, they're the unsung heroes in a lot of ways, because there are so many times that we answer our phones, that we're responding to emails, that we're negotiating contracts, all of these things that go into that. And that contributes to a culture that is necessary to be uplifting.
Yeah.
And you really do need to get refreshed and energized by coming into a place that you feel like, okay, I can, if I'm a little bit depleted, if I'm a little bit, worn down, this is a place that I can come and get rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the culture that we are going for. That is the culture that we want to maintain. And that is definitely the culture that we want to protect. So I think you're right. I think when we say protecting the culture, that's a really, really positive thing.
Yeah.
It's not negative at all. And are we open to, we have open arms for other people who are going to contribute to that culture. So we're happy, to continue to grow in that way. We just want to make sure that's the direction that it's going.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know, there's been days where I've come in and maybe not been in the best of spirits for whatever reason. Maybe, you woke up late or whatever it may be that happened in your world over the day before or the night before. And then you come into the meeting and you can't help but just kind of smile and kind of get it together and be like, you know what, I'm going to be excited and happy because you're around all these people who that's the same way that they came in. But maybe there's someone else in the room that didn't, but they come in the room and they get lit up by everybody's energy and the people that they get to be around. And what you said is so, so true. I've worked terrible jobs before real estate, but I worked with a great crew of people and I stuck it out because I was like
the people.
These people are so awesome that this is not really fun what we're doing together, but I want to hang out with these people and I want to be around these people. And so, yeah, it makes a huge difference who you surround yourself with.
So without calling anybody out or saying where you worked, but what is the worst job you've had?
Ooh, actually, one of the worst jobs that I had was in college. I worked, and this sounds terrible, I worked at a Christian bookstore, and it was
bad?
It was so bad.
Oh, no.
And I've worked a lot of places. Like, I I've done the service industry. I worked, in a lot of like jobs that were probably conditions were worse, but something about that Christian bookstore, I don't look kindly back on it.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
What's that going on?
What about you?
Okay, so I have to say maybe my worst job, unfortunately. Sorry, Dad. My dad, he has a commercial or custom cabinet business.
Oh.
And so he has a shop. He has his own shop.
Mm-hmm.
And the summer that we turned 16, we were forced to work in the shop. And so my 16th summer of my life, I had to, clean sawdust and I had to sweep floors. And now looking back, it's not the worst job I ever had.
Yeah.
But, in the time and the moment, and you're like, I want to go work somewhere cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be doing something. My second job was at a tanning salon, which at that point in my life was really cool.
Very cool, yeah.
And that was definitely a step up from what I thought, but looking back and seeing, I got to spend time with my dad, spent the summer with him. I learned some really cool trades. I eventually did move off the sweeping crew, and I got to do edge banding and staining and painting and a little bit of cabinet assembly.
See, stuff like that
and installation.
Highlights me. I'm like, ooh, you got to build things.
Yeah,
like, I love it.
It's definitely some life skills. And so I'm not going to tell you that I'm handy, but at least I know how to do some things thanks, Dad. So sorry that it might have been my quote unquote worst job, but it was actually, a really cool experience at the end of the day.
You look back on it and you have a great takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
And yeah, it's kind of funny, but I did talk to, Tim Billingsley, and if you listen to this, Tim, you're going to laugh because I'm going to call him out a little bit. But I was talking to him the other day, and he told me that one of his jobs when he was, really trying to make ends meet, and he had several different jobs, and he was just getting started into coaching, and he was just doing scouting and analytics and that type of thing. But his other job was, what was it called? I can't think of the name of it. It was something really funny and catchy, but it was basically dropping off diapers.
Huh.
And it was a diaper delivery, but he had to pick up the old diapers.
Was it like cloth diapers?
I think it must have been cloth diapers.
Oh.
I think it was because it was, I'm guessing it had to be because I don't think
there are services out. As a mother, I know. But
so he picked up the old diapers and gave them the new diapers. And he said at the end of the day, he would have a truck full of, or a van full of dirty diapers. And I was like,
the smell was awesome.
Yeah. I said, okay, you win that one. So he definitely won that one. So let's talk a little bit. So we talked a little bit about, kind of our culture, who we are, you being named cultural icon, which is so impressive and, amazing. And you talked a little bit about our team culture. Tell me a little bit too. So we have meetings more than any other brokerage I know. And we have, great attendance at all of our meetings because our agents want to be here and, are rewarded for being here. And so I think that's really something that's unique that we do that most other brokerages don't do nearly as frequently. But tell me a little bit of what's your favorite thing about your morning meeting?
I think the favorite thing for me about the morning meeting is probably what we started doing not too long ago is gratitude. Yes.
That's my favorite thing too.
Yes. So how many months ago did we start doing that?
Oh my gosh. I would say at least 6 months
Yeah.
ago.
So over 6 months probably, but something we started implementing, and we start every single meeting that we do with people giving gratitude. And that could be, some people come in and they give gratitude to their spouse or to a family member, who's not there. And it may be gratitude or for their kids or whatever. But most times, you're giving gratitude to other teammates for either they helped you out or just how they encouraged you or something along those lines. And so, yeah, I love it.
I do too. And you're right, because when you said that a minute ago, it just sets the tone for your day. And it really sets the tone for
it's hard to be
starting
upset.
out. Yeah, it is hard to be negative when you're talking about how many positive things are going on. And Philip and I were talking before the podcast about New Year's resolutions and, kind of goal setting. And it's interesting to me because I think that every single year, January 1 rolls around and everybody gets, all excited and pumped about, okay, it's first of the year. What are we going to do? One of the things that I think that we did really well this last quarter is that we didn't wait for the first of the year to set those goals. And we didn't wait until the first of the year to roll around to go, hey, we're going to hit the ground running. I was really impressed and proud of our team, in the month of December, that, I mean, we were hooked up. And I felt like, you need some water? Maybe. You can have that water. Yeah. I'll keep talking so you don't have to.
Okay, thank you.
You can get your breath. But it was something really, in my opinion, that was impactful to go, hey, let's don't make a New Year's resolution. Let's actually just make a resolution. Let's decide that we are going to come in and we are going to, be diligent in our work, be diligent with our schedule.
It's like one of those times
then you hate it. It goes down the wrong way. And then you're like, okay, I got to sit here.
I'm really trying to stop.
No, you're good. And then it's hard to talk. And you're like, I feel like yeah. No, you're good.
I'm good now.
And Philip's so good at editing. So maybe
it's not even going to be like it's there. People listening will be like, I won't even know. They're going to be like,
wait, what just happened there? She's talking about them. Okay. Anyway. So I really felt like that was really good. So New Year's resolutions comes around. I feel like we are positioned well. I think a lot of people we'll talk real estate for just a few minutes and, the market, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
On that side. Yeah, there you go. No, you're good. So what do you feel like going into this year? Number one, do you feel like you're set up a little differently, positioned better? What do you feel like the market is going to be like for you personally this year? Yeah. I think the market is the market, and we kind of talked about that a little bit today. Mm-hmm. So give us your take on what you feel like the market is doing right now and how you think maybe, I know nobody has a crystal ball, but what are you seeing?
Yeah. So actually, I've been getting that question asked a lot. I feel like every time I go out and show, people are like, are you busy? Or like, how are you doing or whatever? Or even people you're not showing, just people that know you're in real estate. I think the market has been stabilizing, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I agree.
And I keep telling people it's a really great thing for buyers because how hard was it to buy a home in the market that we just had? It was stressful. It was really hard, especially for first-time home buyers who weren't as prepared as others. And so I think it's great because it's just been stabilizing and there still is plenty of business going on, plenty of things happening. I mean, we had the best December that we've ever had.
Yes.
In this market that's changing. So it's definitely, like you always say, it's kind of how you make it or you're going to frame it. Your world is framed by your words.
One thing we know about real estate, it changes.
Yep.
I mean, all of the time. And I always say too, that there's always going to be a need for people that need to sell their homes. Mm-hmm. And there's always a need of people that need to buy homes.
Yep.
And I think that you're just looking at different markets. The one thing that I've noticed, and you can tell me if you've noticed the same thing, probably is the new construction side. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that it's loosened up a little bit in the sense that I think there was so much demand. Mm-hmm. I feel like new construction always has a little bit of a lag because when the demand happens, I mean, it takes a while to get those new construction homes ready to be moved into. So we had this high demand, not enough supply. Yep. Now the supply's finally got there. The demand has come down a little bit. So I've seen a little bit of shift in the new construction.
Oh, for sure.
Where there's actually some new construction homes available that are move-in ready.
And price reductions.
Yes.
So yeah, we actually a teammate and I were just talking about this last week about some price drops that we've seen on brand new construction homes, which before it was like, this is the price. There was actually builders telling people like, you will sign that it won't appraise because it won't, but this is our price because this is the cost that we have in it. So there will probably be a gap and you're going to be responsible. So now you're seeing that come back down and there is inventory and they can go and actually look at new builds and not just be waiting to see if they can get into a new home.
That was the other thing is even if you get a new construction home under contract, you might be months away.
Oh yeah, like a year. I mean, I think at one point it was like we're a year out. Like
different builders were. I mean, it was really tough in that new construction. So I feel like that to me is one of the biggest things, the biggest shifts that I've seen. That I think is a great thing. And I know the builders are going, okay, well, we'd much rather have them all pre-sold a year in advance. So I know it's probably not as great for the builders, but for buyers, I think it's a really helpful thing. But I think that's maybe the biggest difference that I can see. I don't think prices have fallen a lot. Interest rates are holding pretty steady.
Yep.
And, they ticked up a little bit from when they were just, stupid low.
Yeah.
If you got in on the stupid low, then congratulations. We're probably never going to see that again in our lifetime, I don't think. But I feel like we're in a really good spot and I feel like positioning for the first of the year, I think it's a really good place to be right now in Tulsa market.
Yeah. And something that we're doing that we've never done before is just kind of being more prepared. So as that shifts, we've done things as a team to grow and be more prepared and implement new systems. And so
strategies.
I feel, more strategies. I feel definitely more prepared going into this year than any year that I've been in real estate before. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, Erin, thanks so much for coming on today. And you're always so great, even if you're choking to death. You know, it's you recovered really well.
Oh man.
No, you did great. You did great. But congratulations on being a cultural icon. And that is such an honor, and it is a big deal. And you are so deserving of that. So, you know, I love working with you. I love being in business with you. And I couldn't ask for a better teammate. And, you know, not only are you cultural icon, but you're on our leadership team. And, you know, your contribution to our team is irreplaceable.
Well, thank you. And there's nowhere else in real estate that I would be in the Tulsa area. So.
Okay, she said it.
Now I did say it. I know. I was about to say, like, I put it out there.
I know you put it out there. Now you are locked in forever and ever and ever.
That's it. Golden handcuffs.
Well, I'm good. I'm good with that.
No,
I'm good with
that.
I'm
just kidding. It's a great place to be. And I've definitely seen what else is out there. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, okay. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. And we will catch you. I don't even know what's going to happen on the next episode, but it's going to be great. So catch us next time on Tulsa Life Podcast.